Your air conditioner is running right now, and it is losing, not because it is broken, not because your house is too big, because above your head your attic is sitting at 140 degrees Fahrenheit, and that heat is moving down through your ceiling, through your drywall, into your bedrooms, forcing your air conditioner to run longer and harder than it ever should have to. Your power bill is not a coincidence. It is the result of a decision made for you, without your knowledge, sometime around 1965. And I want to show you what a community in Pennsylvania has been quietly doing instead for the last 200 years. In the summer of 2001, I drove to a farm outside Intercourse, Pennsylvania during a July heat wave. I had a 3-ton central air unit that cost me $220 a month. I walked into the upstairs bedroom of this Amish farmhouse and stopped. No vent, no fan, no machine of any kind. And that upstairs bedroom was cooler than mine. I have spent 2 decades trying to understand exactly how that is possible. What I found goes back to a Purdue Agricultural Bulletin from 1948, and a piece of knowledge that crossed the Atlantic on a boat in 1839 and never got patented because nobody could figure out how to sell it. Here is what most people get wrong about an attic. They think it is part of the house. It is not. In a properly designed home, the attic is a sacrificial buffer, a layer of air that absorbs punishment from the sun so the rooms below stay livable. The attic is meant to cook. You are not. But around the 1960s, American builders sealed the attic up, stuffed it with cheap insulation, punched in 2 undersized vents, and called it code. Then they sold you a bigger air conditioner to compensate. The Amish never made that mistake because they had no machine to bail them out. Every decision had to actually work, and the technique they relied on most is called a cupola. A small wooden tower at the highest point of the roof with louvered openings on all 4 sides and a vertical shaft running straight down through the attic. Hot air rises. In a sealed attic, it has nowhere to go, so it bakes through your ceiling all night long. The cupola gives that hot air a chimney. The hottest air climbs out through the louvers and pulls cooler air in from the lower windows behind it. Engineers call it buoyancy-driven ventilation. The Amish just call it building a house. Right. A paper from Ohio State University Extension dated 1941 documented temperature drops of 12 to 18 degrees Fahrenheit inside upstairs rooms when a working cupola was added to a wood frame farmhouse. 12 to 18 degrees, without a single watt of electricity. That paper sat in an archive for 80 years while you and I paid power companies thousands of dollars to do worse than what a hole in the roof did for free. You cannot add a cupola this weekend. But the second piece of this puzzle costs $4 and takes 1 hour. This is the part Amish builders in Lancaster County showed me that I have never seen written down anywhere. Inside their attics, where the rafters meet the ridge beam, they nail strips of untreated cotton muslin across the underside of the roof boards. Plain cotton, about $1 a yard at any fabric store. 4 yards covers the ridge of an average 1,600 square foot home. $4 total. When the sun heats your roof deck to 160 degrees, that wood radiates heat downward in straight lines directly into your ceiling, your bedroom ceiling. The cotton breaks that process. It absorbs moisture from the night air, and as the roof heats up during the day, it releases that moisture as a slow, evaporative cooling layer right at the source of the heat. The same principle as a wet bandana on the back of your neck applied to the hottest point of your house. The Amish family I visited outside Strasbourg had been doing this for 5 generations. The father told me his great-grandfather learned it from a Mennonite carpenter who came from the Alsace region of France in 1839. Nobody patented it. Nobody sold it. So almost nobody knows about it. Which brings up the uncomfortable question. Why did nobody ever tell you? Think about who profits when your attic runs at 140 degrees. The utility company profits. Run your 3-ton unit an extra 4 hours a day through July and August, and you are handing the power company between $60 and $90 a month you would not have spent if your attic was breathing. The shingle manufacturers profit because a hot attic destroys shingles from the underside. A 30-year roof becomes a 15-year roof. The HVAC industry profits. The insulation industry profits. This is not a conspiracy. It is worse than that. A conspiracy you can fight. A system you cannot see just feels like the way things are. Now here is how you replicate the cupola effect in a house you already own without cutting a single new hole in your roof. First, find your gable vents. Almost every American house built between 1940 and 1990 has triangular vents on the 2 short ends of the attic near the peak. Most are clogged with paint, bird nests, or insulation a contractor blew in carelessly decades ago. Get up there with a flashlight. If you cannot see daylight through them clearly, you have just found the first reason your house is overheating. Clean them out. Replace rusted screen with new aluminum mesh. $3 at any hardware store. Second, an Amish builder named Samuel Byler outside Bird in Hand told me that on his father's house, they hang a sheet of plain, white cotton muslin across the inside of the gable vent on the sunny side. It lets air pass freely, but blocks the direct radiant heat pouring in on a sunny afternoon. He told me his father's attic runs 20 degrees cooler in August than the neighbors on the same road. Third, after sunset, when outside air drops below 80 degrees, open your lowest windows on the shaded side just a few inches. The hot air that built up all day rises through the attic, exits the gable vents, and pulls cool night air through your living rooms behind it. By morning, your house has shed most of its stored heat before your air conditioner ever turns on. 40 minutes of setup, $4 in cotton, $3 in mesh. Nothing after that for the rest of your life. Now for what I found in the Purdue University archive. 3 years of driving to libraries and asking for boxes nobody had opened in decades. Rural Housing Bulletin Number 31, written in 1948 by a professor named Harold C. Brenneman. Passive temperature control in the Indiana and Pennsylvania Farmhouse. 24 pages. Detailed diagrams. And something Brenneman called the cookstove draft method. In traditional German-descended farmhouses, the kitchen was always built on the north side with a door and a tall, narrow window directly opposite each other. When the family cooked breakfast, they opened both. The heat from the stove rose and pulled out through the window, creating a low-pressure zone that drew cool air through the entire house from the south-facing windows. They were not just venting the kitchen, they were using the stove as a deliberate engine to ventilate the whole house. On a 94-degree day in August 1947, Brenneman recorded a steady draft moving through the front room of a farmhouse near Goshen, Indiana. No fan, no machine, just a stove burning low and 2 windows in the right places. You have a stove. If you turn on one burner on the lowest setting for 40 minutes in the early evening, with the window near your stove cracked 4 inches and a window on the opposite side of your house cracked 4 inches, you will create that exact same draft. I tested this 2 summers ago in a 1,400 square foot house in Ohio. The living room dropped from 83 degrees to 74 degrees in under an hour. I did not turn on the air conditioner once that night. Cost 4.4 cents. Nobody profits when you cool your house for 4 cents a night. That is the only reason you did not already know this. I want to leave you with something a deacon named Jonas Zook said to me outside his workshop in Lancaster County last spring. I asked him how his community decides what to build and what to buy. He stopped, looked back at his house, and said, We choose tools that we own completely. Tools we can teach our children to build, to fix, to improve. The moment a tool requires someone else's permission to run, it is not really your tool anymore. You are just renting it. You did not lose this knowledge. It was taken from you. One building code revision at a time. One sales pitch at a time. One generation at a time. Until you ended up paying $300 a month in summer to do badly what your great-grandfather did for free. Go look at your gable vents this weekend. Climb up with a flashlight and tell me in the comments what you find. Are they clogged? Painted shut? Sealed with foam? Tell me your county and how old your house is. I read every comment. The next video is about how these same communities keep their root cellars at a steady 52 degrees year-round without a single watt of electricity, using nothing but a clay pipe, a bed of gravel, and a technique tracing back to a German agronomist named Heinrich Voss in 1803. You will not believe how simple it is. I will see you there. Stay cool and stay curious.